Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Melissa. I'm your host, Melissa. Cheers. So, this morning I want to talk about taking 100% responsibility for your own life. I read this Jack Canfield book like years ago. I followed him. I still follow him occasionally, not as much as I used to, but I read his book, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. It's his Success Principles book. And the very first chapter in there is take 100% responsibility for your life. And I love that because oftentimes we're like, we're looking outside ourselves as to, first of all, why we are not where we want to be. And second of all, why we are where we are. So it's like, oh, well, I need this job because of such and such and such. Or, I don't like my boss because of such and such. So he makes me miserable at work. He makes the work environment miserable, blah, 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 whatever it is. Well, what if we switched our mindset on where we are in our life and accepted the fact that we are where we are because of the choices that we've made in the past? It doesn't matter where you are, okay? If you're in debt, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you made the choice to be there. You made the choice to take that job. Maybe you made the choice to live where you live, and maybe your rent or your mortgage is higher and you have, more month than money left, each month. And you really have to, just like sit down, take a minute, take a few deep breaths and really reflect on, why am I here and how did I get here? And then once you do that, and once you're like, oh, okay, I see. Once you have that aha moment where you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is so great because if I made the choices to get here, I took this job, I chose to live in this apartment or this house or whatever it is, I choose to go spend $5 a day on coffee. Really reflect on all the choices you make in your daily life. And, or I'm choosing to stay in this relationship. There's so many examples I could think of off the top of my head. I'm not going to get into all of them because we'll be here for days. But it really, once you're like, oh my gosh, I'm here at my life at this point in my life because of the choices I made. What if I made different choices so I was in a better place where I was happier? Now, happiness is found within, and I'll talk about that a little bit in the next video for next week. But it's really like, oh my gosh, we have control over our choices. We have control over how we spend our money. And this and that, we have control over so much. So if we focus on that and focus on what we can control, how we can make our lives better and just have more freedom, for me, it really gives me a sense of freedom when I think, wow, I can take 100% responsibility for where I am, regardless of if this is where I'm going to be. Because that means, like I said before, I have the freedom to make different choices. So one thing I love about this has really helped decrease my anxiety levels and my depression. Because oftentimes, depression is, dwelling on the past. And anxiety is fear of the future, fear of what's going to happen. All these unknowns, fear of change. Those are all anxiety driven. So what I found is that taking responsibility for my own life has really decreased my anxiety. Because if I'm blaming others, like my boss or so-and-so in my life, or a specific situation I have no control over, it's like, oh my God, this is why, like, this person is why why I am where I am, and why I'm feeling depressed, and why I'm not achieving my goals, or why don't have a job that I love. Well, we have so much anxiety over things we can't control. And when you focus on the things you can control, that is incredibly powerful. Just let go of the things you can't control and focus on the things you can control, and that will really, really, really decrease your anxiety. So I'll end there. I think that's a good ending spot. So the takeaway from this video should be just be brave. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Don't be blaming, people in your life, situations. Just live your life with intention. Be intentional about it, and that will really help you, I believe. It's helped me take 100% responsibility for my life. So yeah, and just do it. It will ease your anxiety, ease your depression, because when you're focused on the past, that's, like I said before, that's where the depression kicks in. And yes, sometimes it's chemical. I believe that. I totally get that. But if you want more help with this, I'm here to teach people how to decrease their anxiety and their depression. And I have a program that's formulated just around that from my personal experiences and from my professional training through being a health coach and a personal trainer. So I invite you to check that out. Check out my program. Let's pop on a phone call, see if the program's a good fit for you. Anyways, bottom line is take 100% responsibility for your life. Trust me, you're going to thank yourself when you do that. So enjoy your day, and I'll see you next Monday. Cheers.